Today is Monday, August 14th, 2023. I'm Mark Beavis and welcome to the show today. On the program, Air Canada has released its earnings and the financials are very impressive indeed. Not so much though with its embarrassing record of flight delays and cancellations. We're going to look at all of those numbers. Also, a few stories from the crypto world. First off, Sam Bankman-Fried has been sent back to prison. The SEC tells Cathie Woods that she's going to have to wait a little while longer, and Coinbase is making a move into the Canadian markets. US Steel is rejecting a huge takeover offer. We're going to bring you up to date with that story. And finally, big changes are coming to Kraft Heinz. Let's get started with today's news. Air Canada has released its earnings, and it says it earned a profit of $838 million in its most recent quarter, compared with a loss of $386 million for the same period last year. The results come in the midst of what it's calling a booming demand for travel and higher fares. It says that operating revenues in the quarter came in at $5.43 billion, up from $3.98 billion for the same period last year. Now, a number of factors have led to these impressive results, including stronger customer demand, which of course leads to higher ticket prices, and fuller planes, and also lower fuel costs have helped in the most recent quarter. More than two-thirds of the year-over-year increase in revenue came from international travel, according to CEO Michael Rousseau. However, not all is rosy at Canada's flagship carrier. According to market research firm Cirium, Air Canada ranked in last place amongst the 10 biggest airlines in North America for on-time performance in the month of July. Almost half, so 48% of the airline's flights were canceled or delayed. And when we compare that, for example, to WestJet, they came in at 7th place, with 38% of its flights being canceled or delayed. It doesn't seem to matter where you go. If you're traveling these days, prepare yourself for some disruption. Now, in both May and June, Air Canada's flight communicator system broke down, and this caused thousands of passengers' travel plans to be disrupted and widespread delays to its network. In response, Rousseau commented, "We are increasing our efforts to protect the customer journey from disruption, regardless of the cause." In a related development, the federal government has said that it will be looking at further changes to the Air Passenger Bill of Rights in the effort to close these loopholes that let airlines cancel or delay flights without providing compensation to its passengers. At a court hearing this past Friday, U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan, he remanded Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced FTX founder, back to prison after alleged witness tampering. There is a criminal trial that's scheduled to start already on October the 2nd, and Bankman-Fried has been, freed on a $250 million package, a bail package, pending the trial date. However, during his ruling, Judge Kaplan said, "My conclusion is there is probable cause to believe the defendant tried to tamper with witnesses at least twice." Now, in the government motion, they requested the detention of Bankman-Fried. They said that the defendant had sent over 100 emails to the media and made over 1,000 phone calls to members of the press. And in a particularly contentious issue, Bankman-Fried leaked private diary issues of his ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who was the CEO at failed Alameda Research, the trading firm that's affiliated with FTX. In December of 2022, Ellison pleaded guilty to federal charges of fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy, and she has been cooperating with the government. Judge Kaplan also noted that Bankman-Fried's contribution to the Ellison story was designed to hurt and discredit a witness. The prosecution characterizes the actions as a means of indirect witness intimidation through the press. To make matters worse for Bankman-Fried, the government told the judge last week that it plans to file a new superseding indictment. Cryptocurrency company Coinbase has announced that it is going to begin rolling out Interac e-transfer integration here in Canada. This is what they say is in a move to make it easier to move money in and out of Coinbase accounts, according to the company. Now, this move comes in contrast with other cryptocurrency trading platforms such as Binance, which announced back in May that they would be pulling out of Canada due to the tightening regulations they've seen here in the company that surround cryptocurrencies. The Canadian Securities Administration, the CSA, they've announced previously that they are going to be tightening restrictions and increasing oversight on cryptocurrencies. And they say that this has been prompted by a string of high-profile bankruptcies in the space. And I'm assuming the FTX story probably plays into that as well. According to Coinbase, the company's progress here in Canada has gone relatively smoothly, and that is in sharp contrast to what they've seen down in the US. In June, the SEC charged the company with operating as an unregistered securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency. And the company has been accused of deliberately refusing to follow the rules that it knew surrounding registering securities offers. Back in 2021, Kathy Woods of ARK Investments and crypto investment firm 21 Shares US LLC, they teamed up and filed an application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. A decision by the SEC as to whether they would approve the application was scheduled to be made August 13th, yesterday. However, on August 11th, the SEC extended its review and is now seeking public comment on the application. It's expected that this decision day will be pushed back by several weeks or potentially even a few months. Kathy Woods isn't the only fund manager who's looking to get approvals in this space. In recent months, other major financial institutions have helped revive the market, including BlackRock, which is the world's biggest asset manager. It also filed for a Bitcoin ETF. And I believe that if that application is approved, that truly would reshape the entire industry. In the space, the SEC has rejected a number of applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and they cite an inadequate level of trading surveillance that could leave the market subject to fraud and manipulation. Imagine that, the cryptocurrency market being associated with fraud and manipulation. Who would have ever thought? When my son Brandon started this YouTube channel around 5 years ago or so, his goal was to provide financial education to the millions of Canadians who either don't get this type of education through home or through school, and the big gap that we have in our education system. His journey evolved, and he also developed the Investing Academy, which is our online education platform. Currently, we work with thousands of Canadians of all ages from across the country. And if you are a raw beginner, or even if you're a more experienced investor who just wants to enhance your investment knowledge, check out our academy. I will put a link in the description of this video. When you think of the ticker symbol X, you probably are tempted to think about the newly branded Twitter, but X actually is the stock ticker for US Steel. And the company shares are trading up around 26% this morning on the news that it received an acquisition bid from rival Cleveland-Cliffs, which is the largest North American producer of flat-rolled steel. In this proposal, Cleveland-Cliffs has offered a shares and cash acquisition for a total of $35 per share of US Steel, and that represents about a 43% premium from its closing price of $22.72 last Friday. US Steel said yesterday it has rejected the offer and is reviewing strategic alternatives. It says that it has already received multiple unsolicited bids that range in the possible full acquisition or just two specific assets. If the Cleveland-Cliffs acquisition does go through, it would create the only US Steel company that would now be in the top 10 producers of steel across the globe. Kraft Heinz announced this morning that CEO Miguel Patricio will be stepping down as CEO effective January 1st, 2024, and he will be replaced by Carlos Abrams Rivera. Patricio will stay on after this in the company in the role of a non-executive chair of the board. Shares of Kraft Heinz, they've fallen around 14% so far in 2023, and that's compared with a gain of around 16% for the S&P 500. So clearly there has been an underperformance lately. Demand for its products have been lagging in recent months as consumers are starting to migrate more to more budget-conscious products at lower price points. Now, coming up later this week, tomorrow, Canada's most recent inflation numbers will be announced. From an earnings perspective, we have Suncor announcing and also Home Depot. On Wednesday, we will have Cisco reporting, we'll have Target reporting, and also the US Fed minutes will be released. Thursday, we have Walmart reporting. That's always a bellwether on how the economy is doing. And Friday, we have Palo Alto and John Deere announcing as well. I will be back here in 2 days on Wednesday. As always, I thank you for watching this video. And if you want to check out our Investment Academy, there is a link in the description below. I'll see you in a couple of days.